Shalom. Call halal YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, who rule well, who taught me this truth. No respect and salutations to the fellow Akim, the house of David, the hopefully elect. Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BARAK, AHTHAM to you, Akim, as well as the sincere YAHAWAH that are listening and learning. Yeah, this your brother, YAHAWASHI, coming to you again with this 100% doctrine. I want to show you the whore that sits on many waters. Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And we would know that whore to be Babylon the Great, mystery Babylon at that. And to those of you that are still in the dark or on the fence about who this great whore is, hey, we're going to go through some precepts, bring out a little information to explain to you further what's going on here. Now, you see right here 800 military bases, which we know is more. You got to think of the CIA operatives, the missions they do have, all right? And they stretch from near domestically and abroad, all right? So let's read this here. It says, despite recently closing hundreds of bases in Iraq and Afghanistan, the United States, this whore now, mind you of that, still maintains nearly 800 military bases in more than 70 countries and territories abroad, from giant little Americas, that means the southern United States, all right? The south, starting at Mexico on down to Southern America. It says to small radar facilities. You see, those that you don't even deem to be on the radar of Esau, Edom, Scopeo, right? And as you see, we got this held by nationalonline.org. We're just going to go ahead and just skim through it. U.S. embassies, missions, and consultants everywhere. As you see, NATO, you see EU, and people still wondering about this beast. You're still wondering about this broad, all right? This is U.S. missions in African countries. This is just Africa alone, so-called Africa alone, right? Missions in countries of the Americas and the Caribbean. This is the, southern parts of this hemisphere, right? They everywhere in Mexico. They everywhere in Mexico think about the cartel, See, these people have their foot everywhere, and they leave their fingerprints wherever they go as well. We're going to go back, Lord will. Let's get to, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. You see that? And like I said, we'll go back to that chart. But you see it. These are the kings of the earth, whether it be in the Caribbean, the Netherlands, right? These are Asian countries. U.S. embassies and bases, they're everywhere, man. So we know there's, they say nearly 800. But of course, when we crunch the numbers and we, peel back a layer, we understand that Esau don't keep us at home. He's every fucking well, man. You see? Let's go to Jeremiah, chapter 51. Verse 7, it says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's right hand. So like in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And by the way of the, the spirit of YAHAWASHI, he's bestowed it upon his prophets, starting with the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. They're getting to know America up close and personal. Not by the physical warfare, not by the strength of their teeth, their militaries, their armies, their navies. No, by the way of the prophets. We letting you know who this grimy bitch is, man. And this is what they did when they gave the nations this wine. 2nd Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, that maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Again, if you're straddling the fence on who and what this beast is, or who is Babylon the Great, you could just know, hey, what more proof do you need? All right? These people that run these nations, or heads of these nations, or they have been put in a power seat, all right, by the elites, all right, which that's a Wizard of Oz trick in itself. The ones that run the shit, they're behind a damn curtain, man. You know, they don't want to be thrust into the forefront. Because if they do, all right, again, the Spirit will reveal them. Now, these people and these men and women, they have committed fornication with the whore. You see? The United States have laid down with China, all right? And China getting away from it, you know? China's been away from it. China and Russia's not a part of that beast, all right? Nevertheless, you know, these people are enemies of Israel. They're adversaries. Look at me, man. Malaysia, Syria, Yemen, you know, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam. You got Australia, New Zealand, Marshall Islands, Fiji, European countries. It just goes on and on and on. All right? And we're giving you tangible evidence, things that you can see, and we're mirroring with the scriptures so you can know that, damn, this is that bitch. This is that whore. Habakkuk 2:8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. And this is why the nations are mad. All right, YouTube is worldwide. You don't think they see the prophets and the apostles? See, over here in America, they got this algorithm going on where they hide, all right, the men that speaking that truth. They hide these videos. Yeah, we might get hundreds, maybe even thousands, all right? But these numbers, again, if you crunch them, they should be way much more. Right? Because the truth is coming down. It's not going to be out here to be voided or to be omitted. You see? So these countries see, all right, the harlot of a whore America is, the mystery Babylon the Great. It says, because, let's start from the top, Habakkuk 2:8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and of all that dwell therein, those that dwell within the land. I seen the blood of the prophets, the saints, and all the men that were slain upon earth. It's found where? Within this whore of a harlot, man. Mystery Babylon the Great. And it's no mystery anymore, man. It's just a mystery to those that the Lord is not dealing with. Let's continue on. It says, woe to him that covet and evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And he's not going to be delivered from the power of these bad times, because YAHAWASHI is coming to wreak havoc, man. Right here on the planet Earth, and especially on the soils of America, also known as Babylon the Great. Wonder why this place is so great. They have been trotting and tinkling and tooting around town and around the world, for that matter, for that sake, you know, with that golden cup, man. All right? By the power of our power. So he really doesn't have any power. You see? Let's go to Micah. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2:1. Woe to him that deviseth iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. You see that? And who gave them that power to do such things? All right, let's go to Daniel. Okay, chapter 8. Even though this is going into Antiochus, you know, from Alexander, from Philip the Macedonian to Alexander the Great, all right, or the Crete, to his 4 generals, man. All right. However, we can apply that to the day. This is Daniel chapter 8 and verse 24. And it says, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. So if it's not his own power, whose power is it, man? It's YAHAWASHI, It's our power. All right. It says, and he shall destroy wonderfully and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And this is what he did, man. All right. And you keep reading by the way of his policies. All right. Guess what happens if you don't want to play ball with America? They throw sanctions on you. And the ones that are joined unto him, such as NATO, right? The EU, the United Nations, and some of the people, some of the countries of the EU, they are not a part of the United Nations. Nevertheless, they in the bed with them as well. All right. Again, these are going to hate the whore. This is the whore that sits up among the waters. So if you don't want to play ball with America, guess what they do? They throw sanctions on you, and his constituents as well throw sanctions on you also. All right. So again, it's no mystery. It's just these are the eyes, and who have eyes to see, let them see. Who have ears to hear, let them hear, man. Right? And guess what else they do? It says they covet fields, and they covet fields. The poppy fields, the opium farms, all right? The oil reserves, you see? The natural resources, okay? You got Iceland, you got, man, let's go back. We'll come back. You see? And this is Australia Pacific. This is in European countries, man. Hey, the list goes on and on. Croatia, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Finland, France. All right, Germany. All right, Switzerland, Ukraine. All right, on and on and on and on. Right? Hey, what that song called? And the beat goes on. And that's that heartbeat of America, but this bitch is on life support. All right, true indeed. So again, here you have it. Let's click on that political. 800 military bases. And we know there's more, right? There's way much more. Let's see if there's see, this was in August 2015. Okay? Where in the world is the U.S. military? You know what I mean? And this is how much money y'all spending in a fiscal year. They say 85 to 100 billion. This is where I'm at right here. But think about it. You crunch the numbers. This is why Esau don't never give you a straight up, answer, man. You can't deal with these Idumeans. You can't have dialect with these Edomites, man. All right? Because they come from the womb speaking lies as soon as they be born. So you never trust your enemy, man. You read the scriptures, you get the understanding of it. Lord willing, if the Lord is dealing with you. It says, and they covered, Micah 2:2, and they covered fields and take them by violence and houses. And this is what they do. You see the ruins they left in Afghanistan, which is nothing but a CIA operative, man. You mean to tell me some men in sandals and garments and robes got their hands, no military might, no military power. You've been over there 20 years and they got their hands on some U.S. military equipment, weapons, so forth and so on. You know, America is the most docile people on the earth. Y'all the most weakest, docile, effeminate, and want to be masculine men on the planet Earth, man. Right? But YAHAWASHI is gonna set this bitch on fire. And we gonna see who tough then. Right? It says, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, man. You got Elam over here, these so-called Arabians, these so-called Indians. You got them over here in this big-ass melting pot, walking the walk as Esau, being proud, nose all up in the air, on cell phones, Nike Air Force Ones and Air Max, going to the parks, walking their little doggy, drinking Starbucks, just like an American, man, an original Edomite. These other countries has drunk in that wine, and they drunk. All right? They're fucking drunk, man. And this is what it means. This is that whore that sits on many waters. He went around prancing around the world, giving drink to his neighbors. So what? When you what's a date rape drug, man? You don't know you raped until you woke up. Somebody gotta tell you, man, that nigga took you out in the corner. Somewhere, man. You know? Esau Edom has dropped a roofie in that drink. Go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 7, starting at verse 9. It says, in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. This is when they strike, man. Hey, get ready for these blackouts. These certain pockets in America. All right, 2, 3, 4 days, maybe even a week or more. Get ready for these blackouts, man. Right? Because this is where he strikes. This is where the serpent strikes. It says, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot and subtile heart. Where do you find that same subtlety? All right, within the garden. When he came to Eve with that subtile spirit, he the most cunning hunter on the planet Earth, man. We know who you is, man. All right? We are who you thought we were, man. We are who you thought we, you know, who the Lord told us you is. You are that person, man. All right? Guess what? Verse 11, she is loud and stubborn. Her feet abideth not in her house. What's loud and stubborn to Esau, Edom, man? I mean, to us on the outside looking in, man, his laws speak louder than everything. You run a red light if you want to. You miss a court date if you want to. Right? If you want to get in these certain venues to see some folly, concerts, or the gladiators in the athlete world, you have to abide by his rules, by his regulations, by his policies, by his legislations. All right? The ones, hey, let's get that. We'll come back here. Isaiah 10. It reads, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. This is unrighteous. They tell you got freedom of speech, but they take your videos down. They tell you you got the right to deny certain, treatments, but they force you to do so anyway. It says, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And this is the prescription for America. And the prescription for you sincere Israelites, Salakia, are the scriptures. All right? This is what Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has prescribed us. Right? What's uttered in heaven echoes on earth. This is what we're doing. So let's go back to Salakia. Let's go back to Proverbs 7. Right? Verse 11. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. And this is the whole point of the lesson. For you you simpletons out there. What you got to understand, this man has 8 over now. They say nearly. But you never trust the devil now. Never trust a subtile cunning hunt. He'll wheel your ass in, man. He got over 800 military bases in what? 70 countries, man. Somebody do the math. Salakia. Get that up out, man. Somebody do the math, man. How many is that, man? Damn near 100 in each country, Bear with me, Salakia. Salakia. Call out Yahawah BAHASHAM. So yeah, man. Again, let's read this. From giant little Americas to small radar facilities, Britain, France, and Russia, by contrast, have about 30 foreign bases combined. You talking about these 3 countries alone have 30 combined. Salakia. So bear with me. So they have over 30, or about 30. They probably got more combined. But the U.S. have what? Who is this whore? Well, as Revelation 17, man, I'm going to show you the mission of this bitch. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house, Proverbs 7 and 12. Now is she without. Where's she at? They telling you they left Afghanistan, but they got to go back. They telling you they left Iraq, but they still there. They telling you they left Vietnam, but they still there. They telling you they left France and Germany. You know, the World War I's and twos. Guess what? They still there. And that's the brother, you know, the head of Rome, you know, went into great detail about how long they've been at war since the country. Over 93%, man. Over their 220 some odd years in power or developed as a country, USA of America has been at war 93% of the time. You see? Now she is without. Now is she without. Now in the streets and lieth in wait at every corner. And what she lieth at wait for? To look upon your nakedness. Get you drunk, put a roof in your shit, you know, and raped you, man. He's the biggest date rape drug out there, man. You know, when you date, you really having intercourse with that person. This is why the scripture tells us they committed fornication with him, right? This devil got the golden cup, he got the shit in it, and he put it in there. He got you drunk, and now he extracted all your resources until he bleeds you dry. This is that cunning hunter, man. He's not right, man. Habakkuk 2 verse 5, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine. You see that? He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, because the grave is hell. You can pack as many as bodies they die. You can pack just as many in there. You see? And cannot be satisfied. He want everything. What the horse try to give. You know? It says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. He oppress a man, his household, and his heritage. You no longer could praise the false god that you worship, and your family, and your fathers, and your grandfathers worship. You know, these false deities, these false powers. You gotta worship our false power, our false deity, which, by the way, is y'all know is JC. You know, over here where they X'd out our Lord and gave you Caesar Borgia, man. This devil. So there you have it, man. The whore that sits on many waters. And we can go into a lot more. And, you know, I just wanted to bring that out. Lord willing, it was edifying and comforting. On to the next one. Shalom.